This is the Giraffes Don't Eat Steak podcast, a show that brings you marketing stories, tips, hints, and much more. A treat for those who want to succeed in business or marketers who just want to learn. Hey, Alex, how are you?
Hello, I'm very well. And yourself?
Good, good. Heat wave over, a little bit cooler, so
The,
now it's good.
in the constant cycle of complaining about the weather.
Have to. I'm in the UK now. This is what we do, right?
Well, it's been raining constantly here for 48 hours.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And it's big rain as well. So they have like crazy floods, crazy floods. It's funny because in the UK they complain when there's a flood and it's like someone walking through with some wellies and it's like coming up to like an inch or something on their foot. But here it's like houses are going through.
Well, that said, there's been flooding in South Africa as well. And again, the water's up to the roof of houses. In Durban, you know Durban,
Yeah,
flooding so bad that the water's all the way up to the roof of houses.
that's scary.
It is insane. So
Very, very scary.
lots of impacts of weather changes, right? Anyone who thinks climate change is a myth, really?
Just look out your own window. It's definitely not a myth.
Some things happening, right? Some things happening.
Yeah, it's definitely not a myth. Well, looks like Donald Trump is going to become in power. So another leader that doesn't believe in climate change. It's not going to be very helpful.
Oh dear.
The world.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
But one of the things that perhaps stops people from understanding these impacts is that they don't have proper data. And just yesterday, someone asked me again, do I need a CRM system? And I thought, such an odd question, right? The CRM, customer relationship management, is exactly that. How do you manage your customers? And if you plotted data on your customers, on things that are happening to them, these kind of weather changes or that kind of stuff would become clear if that impacts your product, obviously.
Exactly.
So what do you think about people asking, do I need a CRM system?
Well, I think if you have clients, which everyone does, maybe it's different if you're just a street seller selling burgers or something, but any business, the majority of business will have customers and customers on their books in some form or another. Your books is really what you should be using as your, well, it's a form of a CRM, isn't it? It's a log of who you have on your business.
Yeah. And have they paid or not?
Yeah, exactly. And when you have that contact list, you have the ability to be able to manage them, be able to update them, to be able to build a relationship, continue that relationship with them, which is exactly what CRM means. So I think your CRM, your tool could look very different in terms of what tool it is and how much you use it, but it's an essential piece of your business.
Yeah. And maybe it's the acronym CRM that gets people all scared, right? Because actually you're right. If you have any details on customers, even if you keep it in an Excel spreadsheet, that is your CRM system.
Exactly.
Or some people use their email provider, like MailChimp or whatever, as their CRM, right? That's because that's how they communicate, whether it's invoices or notices or newsletters. That's the start of a CRM, right?
Yeah, exactly. Back in the day when I was really small in my mum's business, they had a CRM, but it was a lady who kept track of all of the customers were coming in a book.
Yeah,
in a book. And they were writing down the telephone number, what what product they bought, when they did it, blah, blah, blah. All the details that you have in a really sophisticated digital CRM we have today. And my mum would be calling them, making sure they're okay with the service, the product, if they need any upgrades or anything like that. What's the difference? What's the difference? Like that's using a CRM.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it's the acronym that are scaring people. The other part though is if you use it scattergun. So in some businesses they have an invoicing system, which is and the account management system, which is completely separate to their email system, which is where they keep leads, um, and people that just sign up to their newsletters, perhaps, etc. It's also really good to try and keep it in one place because that way you can track the customer's migration from lead straight into client. You don't lose any data in between. It stops duplication. I've seen some places because it's two separate systems, the customer's still getting buy now emails when actually they were a customer already, they bought.
Yeah,
So having it in one place and then starting to think about, well, what data would be useful? Because then I can ask for that data. Marketing permission, that's a no-brainer. Let's start with marketing permission. How do you keep that even for customers, even though you may have legitimate interest when they leave, you still want to be able to talk to them. So make sure you've got that marketing permission. But then what else? What else is going to be useful and that fits in with your business that you
yeah.
could use as upsell or happy birthday, right? Do you send a happy birthday to let them know you're thinking about them? Christmas, do they need something from you? Like, what information do you need?
No, exactly. I mean, you can get it's a treasure trove. I can never get that word. Trove,
Trove,
treasure trove,
trove with a
trove.
V.
Treasure trove of information. But I just, whilst you were saying that, about keeping all of the information in one place and being able to do a lot of automation and using that data to find really interesting and compelling ways to sell and upsell. I was also thinking while she's saying that, do you think just going back to the initial part of the conversation when people were saying, do I need a CRM? Do you think because the systems now are so sophisticated, and let's take, I don't know, Monday.com or something like that. In there,
Yeah,
you can use it um, as a CRM in terms of like just a pure list of the clients you have, where they are in your stage and funnels, but then you can also create your own tasks that you need to do that are related to those customers, and you can link them and through automation saying when this client reaches this point, give me an alert so I can do this, blah, 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 blah. Do you think there's also an element of just being overwhelmed by the amount of possibilities there are in a system? And maybe somebody who is coming from more of a traditional background coming into this world, it's like, well, this is my email. Okay, I have this to do my email, whatever that tool is. I have this here with where I'm going to find out what products they have, and I'm going to use this one here to create my communication letters or whatever. Do you think there's like there's an element of too much complexity where some people are like, I want a tool that does this, and I want a tool that does this, and I want a tool that does this, and bringing it all into one is too much for some people,
I think it
or
definitely is. And if you look at, the range of CRM tools available, and depending on what your initial purpose is, right? So if you want to say, I want to send emails, you may start with something like MailChimp or something like that, and then they'll try to upsell you all the other functions. You can easily become overwhelmed. If you want sales tracking, for example, you want to track prospects through a sales cycle. HubSpot comes up often if you search for that. But again, the free version of HubSpot's lovely, but then as soon as you want to do stuff, you want to send emails, you want to do stuff, then all the costs stack up pretty quickly till it's fully functional. So I think there's definitely two sides. If you're a one-man band just starting out, nothing wrong with you having an Excel spreadsheet, but have the Excel spreadsheet. Have something, whatever it
yeah.
is, it doesn't have to be sophisticated, but have something. And, Excel's lovely. I love Excel. Can add another field going, oh, I'm going to capture birthdays. Put it in there. I'm going to
At
capture.
least log as much data as you possibly can that you know about your customer that can help you with product upsells and cross sales
Yeah.
purely based on the information that you have on them.
The
You know,
downside of keeping it manual is scalability.
Yeah.
Because
Let's just be clear we're just saying at least
absolutely, at
have this
least,
Excel sheet. We're
at
not saying
least
the optimum and just have an Excel sheet. We're saying the
have
minimum that
something.
Yeah.
Even if it's the book, okay. If you're gonna, if having the written book is your way, that's fine. But have something where you've got all your customer data in one place that you can have information about them. But then thinking through scalability, tools are better, right? And you don't have to be, don't be sold by the salespeople. They're very good at their jobs. That's why they salespeople. You can say no, it's okay, until you've bedded down the functionality that you need and you're using it well. I mean, email automations is one of those, right? If you've decided you want to automate emails in a nurture sequence, for example, let's say you want to build a customer nurture sequence, someone has come to your website and they've subscribed to your newsletter, so you want to nurture them. Build that, block off all other noise, get that up and running until you can step away, because there's a while that you won't be able to step away. You're going to watch how it's, change your wording, change how it looks, change the time span. Is it 1 week difference? Is it 2 weeks? Is it every 3 weeks? There's all sorts of stuff you want to test in that scenario before you think of anything else. I think a lot of the time people have a list of, here's the 50 automations we want to build.
I completely agree with you. I mean, this is my mindset going to pretty much any campaigns I do, especially with a new client, is I want to go step by step.
Yeah.
Start off very, very simple, very, very basic. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, if you're new to it, it's a good way of not overwhelming yourself. And it's a good way of learning the system. And also, if the system is good for you, without spending loads of money, get the free trial, get the basic package. Just like you're saying, do one automation at a time. I don't know, it can be as simple as an automatic reply to a submission, or it can be a free ebook to a submission, whatever it is, but just step by step. And the complexity of your business and your automations and your CRM will come with time. So once you've done the first automation, you were like, okay, this is working well, I really understand it, but I can make it better by adding this little step. And I think this is also it's a mindset change, where don't expect to be, like a really well-known clothing brand. You have an incredibly complex automation system and CRM system. They know exactly what you're interested in and popping all of these different emails. That could come one day, but just go one step at a time. Do, and be okay with it. Don't become frustrated. So be kind to yourself and say, it's impossible for me to do this right now, and I'm going to learn, and I'm going to go on the step-by-step journey to get there.
Unless you're willing to hire someone whose job it is, right? That's, if you've decided this is it, then invest in someone who does nothing else but do that for you. But that's then the next big step, right?
Yeah, I'm actually going through something similar myself. Like, just in my spare time, I'm trying to learn how to trade. I don't know if you know anything about trading. I know absolutely nothing about trading.
My sister's a whiz, actually. You should talk to her.
Is she?
Yeah.
Maybe I should speak to her, because I know absolutely nothing. And honestly, it is very overwhelming. I thought there was lots of 3-letter acronyms in marketing. No, in trading, there's so much more. And then the dashboards and, Jesus Christ, it's like I'm so overwhelmed by it. But I'm like, okay, one tiny step at a time. Just try this, try this, try this, try this, try this. Don't be frustrated. Just one step at a time. And it's the same with anything. It applies exactly for this with your CRM. And if you're going from a book to a digital version, it could be overwhelming, but just take it slowly, step at a time, and be kind for yourself. I'm actually just talking to myself right now about it.
Yes, be kind to yourself, Alex.
Yeah, because when I'm not here giving this nice motivational speech, I go, Alex, you're so dumb, you can't learn this thing. No, I'm getting better.
Yeah, no, that's good. And the beauty of a CRM system is then the reporting that can come out, right? Is you can see at a glance, your customer base, even if it's your basics. How many customers did you have last month versus, how many customers did you lose? How many customers did you gain? Simple numbers, but helps you understand your business. If you're losing more than you're gaining, little red flag. What can you do to stop that? If you're gaining more than you're losing, good. That's a good start. But so, just that simple start. That's without even looking at prospects. That's just your customer base.
Yeah, and
It
that can
gives you
help
good data.
No, exactly. And that can really help you debunk the common, well, no, I'm not going to say that, but often the perceived issue is a lack of leads, right?
Yes.
But more often than not, or more often than you would think, there's an issue with the retention of your clients.
Yes. They're
And
falling
by
out the
having,
bottom.
exactly, and by having a CRM that has the data available that you're talking about, you can see relatively easily that there's maybe the imbalance that you thought that existed in terms of the lack of leads versus customers is actually maybe the other way around. And
Yeah.
it's a lot cheaper to keep your customers and retain the financial value that they have for your business.
Absolutely. The one thing I will say is, as you become more complicated, because you will over time as your business grows, is to keep record. A lot of people just don't map. And what I find is map the individual customer's journey. Because often you may find you're spamming a customer unintentionally. Because you're looking at the big picture is, I'm going to send a newsletter every Wednesday, and I'm going to send this, and I'm going to send that. If you look at one customer and go, right, let's see what's happening to that customer, you may find, oh, wow, my customer is getting 20 emails a week because he's getting this notification and that email plus the newsletter plus this plus that. One customer is being spammed. So just keeping, I like drawing, so drawing process flow map of all the touch points across the customer journey, and just keeping an eye on one customer. What is happening to them, and how often are you talking to them, and all the talk points, whether it's a phone call, an email, a SMS, whatever, WhatsApp message, however you're talking to them, map it, because you need to make sure that you're not actually driving customers away by over communicating, which is a problem, right?
That is a problem. I've removed myself from many lists, actually.
Yeah. And
Sure.
and as I said, looking for these duplications where someone's getting buy now messages, but they're already a client, and making sure that you've cleaned it up to make sure that the person is getting the right communication for their stage in your business. And please, please, please keep hold of unsubscribes. That's like, if someone unsubscribes, take them off your lists. Like that is quite a emotive action to unsubscribe, as you've said. But so you have to listen. You can't go, oh, it's fine.
That's a really good point. Yeah. I also, just talking about when you were saying if they're already a customer and you're sending them, or if they've already bought something and you're sending them some sales messaging. I've actually had a few examples recently where even in the email they say, if you have already bought this, please ignore this message. And I always think, but you can filter me.
Well, now you know that they don't have a CRM.
They
don't have a CRM. They've got a mailing list.
I would be shocked, because it's not small businesses, but
because you're right. If you have a proper CRM, that would be an auto filter, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So they've got a mailing list, not a CRM.
Yeah, maybe they just have a piece of paper and some and a Gmail account.
or Excel spreadsheet, right?
Yeah.
And it will take time to remove the existing customers, so they don't have the time.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think
So
I'm like you. That message offends me more than not having the message.
yeah, yeah. It's
Because it
really
tells me you don't know.
no,
If you just said it, I would think you made a mistake and forgot to remove me. But now you say it, like,
yeah. I feel like you don't care about me. You don't care about my feelings. Like I'm really unimportant to you. You literally
you know you're messing up, but you're okay with it.
yeah, exactly. You don't care about me. You don't value me. It makes me very upset.
Maybe we're super sensitive, or maybe we're not the normal clients, Alex.
Maybe.
So, message to everyone: go and find out maybe they don't react like Alex and I do to those messages. If they don't, that's fine. But remember, customers just talk with their feet. They don't tell you they're unhappy; they just leave.
That's a very good. I don't think I've heard that saying before. Customers
Talk with their feet.
talk with their feet.
Yeah, very rarely do they tell you, right? They'll just leave.
Yeah, that's true. And then also, if they do, to be honest, let's be honest, a lot of the time when you leave, when I am subscribed, maybe again, I don't know, I'm generalizing because of myself. I know, and that's a fatal error in marketing, but I'm going to do it anyway. When I get an unsubscribe, I just click other, or I just click the first option of why I want to unsubscribe.
Not the real reason.
Yeah. It's kind of like a rejection. Sometimes people just say, I can't afford it.
Yep.
But that might not be the reason. That's kind of an easy get out, right? Because you can't argue with someone when you say, I can't afford it.
Yeah. True. Awesome. So what's the moral of our story today, Alex? Have a CRM.
Have a CRM.
Even if it's an Excel spreadsheet, please have a CRM.
And don't be scared of trying a new piece of technology software. But if you do, and it's your first time using it, take it step by step, one small automation, one small change at a time. And don't feel forced by salespeople to buy the enterprise package that will cost you thousands of pounds per month. No need. Get the free package or the most basic, cheapest version to see if it works for you. And
you can always upgrade when you're ready.
Exactly.
Brilliant. And if you are ready, there are experts available who do this in their sleep and all the time, who could probably save you a huge learning curve if that's your bag.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, let me go and check my CRM and make sure it's all up and running.
Nice. All right,
See you soon.
Bye. That wraps up this episode of Giraffes Don't Eat Steak. Thanks for joining us. I hope you found value in our discussion and got some new ideas to apply to your own business. Tune in next week for another round of marketing insights and inspiration. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. We appreciate you listening. Catch you next time on Giraffes Don't Eat Steak.